Hey guys, welcome back here to my desktop. So we are here on our base install of Arch. I customized a little bit the GNOME desktop environment with a pop shell and a theme. And in this video, actually, I wanted to talk to you about two very important aspects of the Linux operating system. One is the cron job scheduler, and the other one is rsync, which belongs to the group of utilities that we explored the last time on the SSH video, where we have SSH, SFTP, and SCP. So rsync is a synchronization utility that will help you immensely, especially if you need to make backups of certain directories. Because the advantage of rsync is that it's basically going to check just the changes that you made to a directory without copying everything over. So if, for example, you have a directory with 10 files and you're going to add one, rsync is going to take care of that one file when you add it into the new directory. So that's really convenient, and it's something that you can make work in the background for you. So if you want to do backups, for example, that's an excellent way to do it. The other aspect is the cron job scheduler, which is not coming pre-installed by default in Arch. You will find it pre-installed in other distributions like Fedora or Red Hat or CentOS and probably many others as well. But it's not on Arch because Arch is a distribution that we need to build ourselves. So if you don't have a specific need for that, or if you don't really care about job scheduling, then it's not probably going to be installed in your system. But what I want to show you in this video is we're going to install the Cron package and the rsync package, and we're going to see how we can combine these two packages, these two utilities, so that we can back up one directory or some files in a directory to an external server. And what's incredible to me is that you can schedule this in the background. You can schedule this whenever you want to. You can do it on a specific time every day, or you can do it once a day, once a month, or once in an hour if you want to do that. So it's extremely flexible and it's very powerful, especially if you want to just implement a backup without too much thinking about what's going on in the background. So without too much talking, let's go ahead and open up our terminal here. So let me go here full screen and increase the font size. So what we need to do first, we need to actually install the packages we need. So let's do this by typing in sudo pacman-s. And the first package we need is Cron. And the second one is rsync, if you haven't installed it yet, and then hit enter. Enter our sudo password and proceed with the installation. I see rsync in this system was already installed, but Cron not, so I just proceed with the installation here. And there you go, the package is installed, so we can clean up the terminal. And let's check out the status by typing in systemctl status crony.service. And you can see the system is loaded, but is not enabled. So we need to enable it and started it. So we can type in sudo systemctl and then enable -- now and then crony.service and hit enter. There you go. Now, if we check the status again, you can see we have Cron up and running. So what does it mean actually? Let's check what this service actually installed in our system. Let's move into the etc directory. So let's type in cd/etc and let's list by typing in ls-l, and then I'm going to grep on everything which starts with cron. And you can see we have basically here 4 directories that were created by the Cron service. So cron daily, cron hourly, cron monthly, and cron weekly. So these are directories where you basically can dump in some scripts, which might contain, for example, an rsync command. And these directories are managed by Anacron, which is actually the schedule manager of the system. So the scripts dumped in this directory are going to be managed by Anacron, and it doesn't have to be a specific time. It will be done if you put it in the cron daily. It will be done. It will be executed once a day, or the other directory, hourly once an hour, and monthly once a month, etc. But it's going to be Anacron who is going to decide what time to actually run these scripts. So that's fine if you are looking for this kind of scenario. If not, we can use the cron tab. The cron tab lets you specify basically the time, the exact time and the date and the day of the month and the months and the day of the week when you want to run certain schedule. So it's really up to you to decide what you want to do here. Before we jump into these directories and into the Cron service more in depth, let me show you also rsync. So rsync is the synchronization utility that is extremely powerful because it lets you synchronize 2 directories, the content of 2 directories, and it's going to synchronize this basically by incremental backups. So if you delete one file in a directory, by the next sync is going to remove that file from the remote directory. Or if you're going to add a couple of files, rsync is basically going to check those files, and if the other files are still present in the remote directory, it's just going to update the new files without touching the old ones. So it's a very clever utility. Now, to give you an example, I have a server on my website. It's called eflinux.com, and I can access that by typing in ssh and then hermano at eflinux.com. Now, this is the first time I'm logging into that machine from this computer, so I need to enter here my key. So I'm going to type in here the password of my user on the server. And as you can see, now I am on my server. So if I type in ls here, I have nothing in my servers. It's empty. I just have my website running there. But let's say I want to use actually my server to create a directory so that I can store maybe the pictures directory here from my local machine and backup those, because some of them are logos, some of them are maybe other things that I need. Let's say this is of course everything in theory, but you get what I mean. So I create one directory here on my server. So I'm just gonna type in here mkdir, and I'm gonna call my directory rsync. It's just an example. Now ls, and my rsync directory is there. So I can exit now my server. And because I want to use rsync, I don't want to be asked every time to put the password. So to do this, I need to generate the SSH key, which as I showed you already in the other video, but I'll have to do it here very quickly because I didn't do it from this machine specifically. So to do this, I'm going to type in SSH-keygen and hit enter. So enter the file in which you save the key is fine. I'll accept the defaults here. And I'm going to protect that with a passphrase and re-enter it, and my key is generated. Again, if you want more in-depth details about this, you can check out the video I did on SSH. Now we need to copy the key on the server, so let's type in ssh-copy-id. We're going to copy this on eflinux.com and hit enter. And I need to enter there my sudo password. There you go. Now the last thing I need to do, I will type in ssh-add here, and I need to enter the passphrase I chose for the key. There you go. And now if I type in SSH and then hermano at eflinux.com, you can see I can enter without having to type the password. So this is an important step, because if you are planning to use rsync with SSH, if you don't do this process, the command will fail because it asks you the password every time that you want to connect to the remote server. So it's an important step to do. Now that this is done, I'm going to show you rsync very quickly what it can do. So let me go back to the home directory and let's type in ls. And let's go to the pictures directory here and type in ls again. You can see I have one picture here called flat. This is the wallpaper that you see behind the terminal. So let's say that I would like to actually sync my pictures directory on this machine to the rsync folder on my server. So to do this, we're going to type in rsync. And rsync has many options, but the two most important ones that you can remember are -a or v. So A is archive and contains also many other options. R is recursive and V is verbose. Verbose is optional, but I like it because I want to see what's going on when the command runs, at least when I do it right here. And then we are going to put in what do we actually want to back up on the server. So as I said, I want to back up my pictures folder, and I want to back up this on hermano at eflinux.com. If you don't have the domain name, you can also use, of course, your IP. Then colon, and we need to specify then the directory of the remote server where we want to save this stuff. So it is my home directory, and the directory that I created before was rsync. So this is all there is to it. So I can just now hit enter. And as you can see, it sent my flat picture there. So if we go back to the server and let's go to rsync here and type in ls, you can see I have my flat there. So now if I would add, for example, now a picture in my pictures folder here on my local machine and run this command again, rsync is going to check just for the new files, and it's not going to touch the existing ones. So that's the beauty of rsync. Now, this is all good, and we have done this manually, which is fantastic. But how do we schedule this actually so that the computer, that Linux actually takes care of that for us? So there we have two options. So the first option is to use the crontab-e command. So the crontab-e command is going to open a cron tab where we can put the schedule we want and what we want to do with that. Now, one important thing to know is that the Cron service or the Cron job scheduler does not actually support standard output commands. So you cannot use, for example, the echo command on the Cron job scheduler. It just will not work. So in my case, for example, I'm going to show you both scenarios. So if we want to schedule, for example, an rsync of my pictures directory to my server at a specific time, on a specific day, on a specific month, etc., then I'm going to use the crontab-e command. Now, you have to be aware that by default, crontab-e, the crontab command on Arch, will try to open on the VI editor. So if you have Vim installed or another editor that you would like to use, you'll have to define that in your bash rc file. So if I open up, for example, my bash rc with vim.bash rc, and you can see on the last line here, you can actually export the Vim editor or the nano editor if you have that, just by adding this line, export visual equal, and then the editor you want to use. Then once you have that, you can save the file and exit Vim, and you have to close the terminal or source your bash rc for that to work. And once we have done that, we can then type in crontab-e. Now you can see the editor is working fine. So we basically have 5 fields that we can define here in the cron tab. The first field is actually the minutes. So let's say, for example, that I want to make a backup with rsync every day on a certain time. So let's say that the backup should be done at 2 p.m. every day. So I'm going to type in here 00, those are the minutes, a space, and then we define the hours. So let's say 14 because it's 2 p.m. And then the next line is the day of the month. I'm going to put an asterisk here because it's going to be done every day of the month. And then the next one is going to be the month, which is going to be again an asterisk, so every month. And the next one, last one, is going to be also an asterisk. That means basically every day, so Monday to Sunday or Sunday to Saturday, whichever you like. So that means basically the command that I'm going to put in next, it's going to run at 2 p.m. every single day. So this is one way to do it. And then we can type in our command. So rsync -ar. I'm not going to use the verbose mode here because I'm not going to see anyway anything in here. And then I'm going to specify here the absolute path of the pictures directory. So /home /hermano/pictures. And then the remote location, which was hermano@eflinux.com : and then the tilde character to indicate that the directory is in my home directory /rsync. And that's basically all there is to it. So if I would now save this file, let's do that, save this file and exit Vim, you can see it says here installing a new cron tab. So now it's already 2:15, so I missed it for 15 minutes, but that means tomorrow it's gonna basically run the rsync command from my local machine to my server, and everything which is in my pictures directory will be automatically backed up in my rsync directory on my server. Now, this is a way to do it, but actually let me delete this command because I actually don't need this. So the other way to do this is to put the rsync command also in one of the cron directories. So let's go there. Let's type in cd/etc. And again, I'm going to type in here ls and -l, and I'm going to grep again for cron. And as you can see here, we have the directories. So we have cron-d, which is another directory. It's a snapping directory where actually some services that you may install in your system are going to put job scheduling in there. You can use it also for user scheduling, but the crontab-e is a better option. We have then cron daily, cron deny, cron hourly, monthly, and weekly. Now, there might be already some scripts in here put by the system, but it doesn't mean that we cannot create one of our own. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create actually a script for the cron daily directory, and then I'm going to dump it in here. That means once a day, Cron is going to take care of this directory for me, and he's going to decide the best time for me to run the script, which is going to back up my files. So let's create the script. It's very simple. Let's type in sudo vim /etc/cron.daily, and I'm going to call the script rsync. Now, make sure that you don't use sh, because I had experiences that it's not going to work if it has an extension. So then we can hit enter, and we need to enter the sudo password, and we need to define this as a script. So we haven't talked about script yet on the channel. That's going to come a little later, but just this as an example. To say to the system that this is a bash script, we need to put in a hashtag and an exclamation mark, and then /bin/bash. Now, notice that actually Vim doesn't actually use any syntax lighting yet. But look what happens if we save this file and exit the editor and we reopen it again. Now it has syntax highlighting. So small trick, but it's going to help you if you like syntax highlighting. Not that we are going to need this that much because this script is very simple, but I just wanted to show you this. So then let's enter the command that we need, which was rsync-ar. And again, it's going to be at /home/hermano/pictures. And it's going to be on hermano@eflinux.com, and then tilde characters /rsync. So again, my directory is going to be backed up on the server, and this is going to be taken care from Cron. So then we can save this file and exit Vim. Now, I don't want to wait until tomorrow until we can test this script if it works or not. So we can use for that the run test command. So let's type in run-parts and then --test. And we're going to test basically the script which is in the cron daily directory. So /etc/cron.daily and hit enter. So as you can see, the script was recognized. There is no error coming out, which is always a good thing. And now let's try to run the script, because again, if I don't, then I have to wait until tomorrow, until Cron takes care of this. So we can pull up the last command here and remove the test parameter and run the script. There you go. So let's have a look at our server, ssh hermano@eflinux.com and cd rsync. And let's check the content of our photo, of our folder. And there you go. So we have the photo, which is in my pictures directory. It's now synchronized into my server. So this is working fine. And this is going to happen tomorrow sometimes when Cron will decide to do that. Now, what happens? Let me clean up the terminal here. What happens if I actually say I'm going to remove my photo? I don't want to delete it. I just want to move it here to another directory. So I'm going to type in mv pictures and then the name of the photo. And I'm going to move it in the downloads directory. And I'm going to try to run again the run parts command. There you go. There is no error. So let's go back to the server and cd rsync. Do you think the photo is still there? Of course it's still there, because we didn't define the option to actually remove files when we remove them from the local machine. So to do this, we need to make a small modification to the script. So let's type in sudo vim /etc/cron.daily and then rsync. And what we are going to do here, we are going to add one option, which is going to be --delete. Now, there are many other options that we could use here. For example, the H option, if you want to preserve hard links, might be something interesting also. You can use the man rsync command to check the manual for rsync. There are tons of options that you can use, but this is a very simple example and that should be fine. So, meaning we can save this again and run again now our parts command. And let's go back to our server, cd rsync. And ls, and the photo, you can see it's gone. So let's go back to our local machine, and I'm going to move my photo back to my pictures directory here. There you go. and run the run parts again. This is again going to be run by Anacron tomorrow. So let's go back to our server one more time. cd rsync ls, and our photo is back there. So this is a very simple example on how you can schedule jobs using Cron and rsync. There are so many things we can do with rsync and the Cron job scheduler, and this is just showing you one possibility on how you can synchronize or you can backup stuff to a remote server. But you could use also the rsync command to backup to an external drive. Just of course you'll have to make sure that the drive is always connected to the machine, and that's going to work as well. So it's really just scratching the tip of the iceberg here, and I definitely encourage you to learn more about Crony and rsync, and I will leave a link to all of this info in the video description below on the ArchWiki, which is very well documented. And you can find, of course, a lot more info also on the internet as well. And if you try this out, let me know in the comments below how it's working for you. And if you have any question about the video, let me also know in the comments below. I will try to answer you as usual as soon as I can.